We are tWoTcast episode 358. No, he does not. No. Okay.
All right, everyone, shut the f*** up. Let's ready to record.
We like to start every show by yelling, "We are tWoTcast." Can you do that with me? On the count of 1, 2, 3, go.
We are tWoTcast. Now we can start.
The Wheel of Time, Reread Podcast, explicit in R, freaking rated. Jono's the wild card, always talking shit. Joe's the straight man, he's a total dick. Tom is still obsessed with X-Men.
Previously on X-Men.
We are
Hiya, boys.
Hiya, pal.
That's sort of what I was doing. How's it going?
Good. How are you, Yoey?
Pretty good. You're viewing tWoTcast, the Wheel of Time re podcast of some sort. Now covering. Why do we keep saying that? The Wheel of Time, but as awards. It's the tWoTties, everyone. The Wheel of Time awards. With me as always is Jono.
Jono.
And I'm Joe, and Tom is always here, sort of. And Tom is also muted. He's really good at that.
Well, I did it for the song because you got so mad at us for talking.
You don't have to do it for songs.
Steady your math.
It's so bad.
My mind. We could be covering the tWoTties. We don't know. This could be real somewhere.
I mean, it is.
Another universe. Actually, it is
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
This is literally the award show. Just nobody's shown up to accept their award because they're
Yeah, that makes sense.
not real.
I'm
Because they're not real.
We'll figure it out.
I mean, I should hope so.
Well, I've got some exciting Wheel of Time news.
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 It's not quite that exciting, but we'll do it anyway. I accidentally stumped Maria.
Really?
Yeah, I sent her an email the other day about something from the Eye of the or not the Eye of the World, about like that I was kind of reading, and I'd forgotten about what happens with one of the false dragons, and her response was, "I really don't remember where that came from. I don't have it in any of my notes here. I'll keep looking." So I was
I see.
very disappointing, Maria. Also, yay.
I don't know. I'll keep looking.
Yeah.
What do you mean you don't know?
That was,
Is that your email response?
yeah. Just
What the fuck are you talking about?
If she doesn't know, nobody knows.
It doesn't.
I
it's
mean, that's
probably-
true. Yeah.
Yeah.
At this point, Maria / Michael Livingston are probably the leading authorities, I would say.
If she doesn't know, it probably wasn't in the book, and you probably imagined it.
It's in the companion.
Probably not, though.
Oh. I've got a wrong copy of it.
I mean, I just don't think it's probably not there.
It's not.
I mean, it can't be. You know?
Yeah. Problem solved. Yeah. Problem solved.
Retcon that right out of the companion.
Don't. I'm glad that other people remember to remind us. About
Thank you, Glenn. Don't forget to finger that like button.
Don't just finger it. You eventually have to press it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, some people like it a little gentler. You don't need like a full press. Some.
No, we need them to press it.
Yeah.
I don't really care what
Oh,
other
that's
people's
true.
proclivities are.
We don't like it gentle at all, is what Tom's saying.
You don't have to fucking mash it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Maybe spit on your
Good.
finger.
A lot of innuendo flying around right now, and I like it.
yeah, definitely spit on your finger before you click that mouse button.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to chafe.
Chafe the mouse.
All right, idiots.
Don't chafe my clicker. Yeah.
That's enough of this discussion. Hey, there were some casting announcements recently that I don't know anything about, but you know,
Me
it's
neither.
exciting to see. Yeah, and I think Varen was cast.
Was it
There-
Brad Pitt? Is Brad
No.
is Varen? Was it a lady I've never heard of? Is Varen?
Yeah.
So Varen was already the actress who is Varen is already cast, but I think it was
Yeah.
finally confirmed that she was going to be
It was
Varen.
confirmed. Yeah.
And it was probably the least surprising casting announcement because you look at her and you're like, isn't she already supposed to be her? But you know. So yeah, that's all I know.
Yeah.
I haven't looked at anything
Typically
Dana
for me,
said I was excited to get a Raffo from Maria at WalkCon last year before Origins came out. It's
else.
interesting.
Yeah.
that's some kind of award. We're not doing Raffos. We're doing tWoTties.
Read and find out.
We're doing the tWoTties.
We'll have to read and find out whether
It's
Raffos
read
is
and
an award
fuck
or
off
not.
if you ask the puppets,
Laugh again.
which I think is much better. It's right up our alley. Would it be
I feel
really
like that's-
Maria said read and fuck off to somebody too? It would really,
There's a good chance it would have been me a few years ago.
yeah.
it's basically the same thing.
It is, yeah.
I mean, it is. Yeah.
That's actually what you got from Maria when she asked the question, or when you asked her. The question. She was like, I don't really know. That's not what she was saying.
It's
Yeah,
read
she
and
wasn't
fuck
saying. She was saying, do your own fucking research,
Yeah,
Jono.
she was telling you to fuck it. Yeah.
You
Do your own research. You really got to dive deep into there. Maybe vaccines aren't good for you.
So we put our hands in, and I didn't really think about this book very hard. And Tom said before we started the show that apparently I forgot that Perrin was in this book. So we'll see how these categories go tonight.
Well, I mean, there's some categories where I'm like, I'm just going to put this in. I don't really care if anybody likes it or not.
I didn't think that hard. I just thought on the surface level, and then I was like, well, obviously this. And then
I mean, I want to say, I guess I'll call it a third of the book. It might be half. It's a lot.
it's probably half.
Yeah, it's 30 to 40% at least, yeah.
It's easily half.
So Tom, as our EY auditor checking these numbers out, do you vote as well as
Of course he does.
what do you put your own together and then just make
Yeah. I put mine, and then anything
Um,
else.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, you should.
Like
If
I
I'm
just
not currently reading the book, it's gone.
So Tom,
sometimes
you
like if I think of 4 for a category, and then you guys send yours, and I'm like, well, those are much better. I just don't pick one of mine. And then sometimes, so like, there's a couple where, like, almost all of us couldn't really think of anything, and so there's only like a couple answers a piece, or maybe one will do 4, but the other 2 will just do like 1 or 2, and then that's the only one that matches up between all 3 of us, but it's clearly not the best choice. The person that thought of 4 thought of like 3 great ones, and then the one dumb one we all thought of, and I'm like, I don't want to make that the winner. Typically, if all 3 of us pick somebody, or a thing, I just make it the winner, but it can't always be that way.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's where the judgment call has to come in, you know?
Yeah. And then, like I said, sometimes one of us forgets 40% of the book happened, and I have to add things. Even if
in my defense, just like Glenn's saying, I constantly flip The Shadow Rising and The Fires of Heaven in my memory of like when the parent stuff happens. Like, I think it's the other book. Like,
that's interesting. Yeah,
I constantly do. I don't know why. Like, in my brain, all of that stuff is book 5. Like, none of that is book 4 for me.
Weird. It's funny though, because like there's such a bizarre dichotomy to my mind of like the first part of the book has like in Tyr, right? Rand and everyone's in Tyr.
Yeah.
And when I think of Tyr, I think of book 3. So Shadow Rising is like kind of almost just who gives a shit. It's still 200 pages, 300 pages before you even get the fuck out of Tyr, and then they all split up.
There's two things that you guys both just completely left off.
He wants to believe Perrin peaked in book 4.
It's true.
He didn't peak in book 4. What about that one time he got accused of having sex with Elayne, and that lasted for 2 books, and everybody was mad at him.
Forever. One of the Sanderson things that's clearly Sanderson is when he becomes like a dream world superhero, and he's like running up inside the sides of buildings and shit and fighting Slayer. But I kind of fucking love it, so I don't really care. But you can tell it's all him. Like, it's like, I'm just gonna make him superpowered in the world of dreams.
Yeah, so like if you read the Harry Potter books that started all literature, and like every book there's some manufactured like argument between Harry and Hermione and Ron, like one of them hates the other, whatever, like that's just Perrin and Fail and whoever happens to be in their order.
Yeah, one of them hates slavery and the other 2 are just like, just let it go.
Here's the thing.
Cultural.
You don't have to have everybody feeling strong, weird emotions constantly in order to show us that like Perrin's able to smell emotions. You could just have him walk by somebody and like, that guy smells like he's sad, and like, we get it.
Yeah, we get it.
And, like, walking with rage.
Yeah, it makes 1,000 jokes for me that are all derivative.
I know
that's something. Yeah. Couldn't have done it without you, Robert Jordan.
So we're doing the tWoTties.
Just a rip off of Harry Potter anyway, so it makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get it in there.
That's the joke. That's the joke, Ayush. And by joke, I mean hard factual information.
You need
Yeah, so this is our spoiler warning, I guess, for book 4. We don't really go beyond the books at all. We're very book-centered nowadays. So really the spoilers up to book 4.
The problem when we do is we don't think about it.
Yeah, and then we'll just say shit.
My favorite part of book 4 is it's exactly what happened in book 8 when that one guy died. And like, anyway,
and everyone would be like, "What the fuck?"
It's a throwaway line.
This is our episode covering the tWoTties, the Wheel of Time Awards, featuring The Shadow Rising.
I actually get pretty hyped up when you play that. I'm like, yeah,
it's exciting.
I think I said that last time too, but I'm like, it feels real official. I'm like,
we're official.
It is official time. We're a real show.
It's really like the beginning of some bullshit red carpet stuff, and then all of a sudden the Oscars are actually starting, and they play. I'm like, oh my god,
it's time to go.
It's like real orchestral music.
And then it's these 3 dumb fucks.
And then nothing changes with the background, and we're just like,
I don't know. Once the music starts, it's the night of elegance in class.
Yeah.
I should probably get for the hard work they put into their art.
Yeah.
Rewarding one person for the job they did in a movie that required hundreds, if not thousands, of people to make it.
The squirrel fight in the background is exciting. I love nature. All right, well, let's start us off with the first category, if you would, presenter Tom.
Oh, that's the Chris Traeger Award for the best new character.
Oh, Chris Traeger.
Screen.
Joe's not ready. Oh, he is ready.
I was looking at the comments. Chris Traeger, best new character of the book.
So
I
important.
think I had like one single entry for this. Or maybe
We struggled with this.
yeah. Well, that's so the things that slip away are like when a random person pops up in the books, unless they're like a huge character or something like so. Like that's there's the big ones that I remember.
My other problem, and I think we discussed it, but like last time, because we put Slayer on last time, even though he's not actually in the book. So we're not going to do that again for a specific character that like shows up off screen and says words for like a second, but isn't named or anything.
Wrong. Chris Traeger shows up in season 2 of Parks and Rec, so it makes sense for Slayer to actually be that relevant. Kind of like.
Yep, that's
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I put Slayer in this time because we actually see and interact with him.
Good enough. Good enough.
Well, I mean, just for disclosure, John was like, I guess Brigitte, but I was like, no, we'll wait for a real intro. Like if
technically she was on screen in book
2. Book 2, I figured didn't matter, right? She's just
that doesn't count. Yeah. That doesn't count.
But like
a character.
She's a character in book 2. She's just a figure.
Well, the way you framed it, your answer was like, you're like, Brigitte, I guess. I don't even know if this counts. So I didn't think about it that hard. And I just kind of was like, I think it screwed up my memory of it then.
Well, the only reason I said it didn't, I'm not sure if it counts. By the way, we should have had this conversation beforehand. This is very.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good.
No,
this is how they present at the Oscars.
Yeah, just airing random, ideas.
Yeah, because
the nominees are, and somebody runs out. They're like, just real quick on our thought process.
just a real quick aside. We're thinking about this person. We didn't do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's why. So Min in book 1, we actually see and talk to her, and she does like. If Rand had just seen her from across the way, and then was like, "Who's that short-haired girl?" and they went on with their adventure. That doesn't count, though. There needs to be some like conversations and something.
This is what we are here for.
Slightly meaningful, and the nominees are anyway.
Okay, nominees. Yeah.
So the winner is going to be the only person we all picked. Joe only picked one. So anyway, so Slayer's in the mix here. We have him this time.
Yeah.
I put Mokedian.
Okay.
Nobody had that. Amos,
do we have? How much old Mog do we really get? Do we get?
She psychologically fucks the girls here, and she fights Nynaeve right at the end.
It's one of the greatest fights in the book.
Jesus Christ! I really should have figured out what this book was about before I voted for all this.
I mean, it's incredible.
It's my favorite fight.
So when you guys. All right.
It's literally my top 5 favorite fights of all time.
I mean, not a spoiler for MVP, but there's one person that I put in it because I was like, I don't know why neither of them named it this person, but I'm doing it. And then just to get through this, because we did so poorly with it, the winner was Asmodean, not for what he does in this book, but like we interact with him a lot, and I know how great he is later because he's ridiculous.
I think that's a
he's fantastic.
Yeah. Or Asmodean, as he calls himself. A big fan.
I thoroughly enjoy him. Yes, I know it comes later, but I thoroughly enjoy him just like laying around Rand's tent and just like strumming. Just being like, fuck off all of you.
See, we're doing spoilers.
Well, Joe
but he is like we don't really even know it's him for the longest time. And then when we find out at the end, like you don't even really know anything about his personality. You assume it was all an act.
As Joe actually read the book.
Look,
yes, many times, sadly.
Joe,
I didn't have a lot of time gnoming garden.
Don't
post any thought into it.
Don't post any comments if you had a week.
I had a week that I didn't spend thinking about it. Then I very quickly made up for it in 10 minutes today.
Like
I did my best.
We're moving all the way past this one that we category that we flubbed, and stop putting up comments where people correct us. Next category.
Also, yeah, I forgot that Amis was in The Dragon Reborn.
What is the next category, Thomas?
Could have just. It's the Hate Rape Award for the best sexual moment. Oh, sorry. It's the best XXX moment.
We got. That's when Vin Diesel rides a motorcycle off a cliff and then paraglides down and blows up cars while he's doing it.
That's a. Oh my god! All right, I'll definitely put in at least one moment from XXX as a nominee every single week. Gonna have to be done.
Fucking watered down this award. How dare you?
All right, so for one of our nominees is Avienda by accident.
Ice Cube was a better XXX.
What the?
It just blew off.
Take that off the screen. Ice Cube's not a better anything. Can we talk about how stupid it is to try to be some sort of hardcore gangster rapper from Los Angeles and be called Ice Cube? And then followed up by Ice T. Anyway, Avienda by accident, nominee. She just says a lot of shit and just doesn't seem to think it matters. Rand thinks it's sexy.
Yeah, it is hilarious.
She just popping boners off on Rand was on like Elayne's tits and ass like this, and Rand's like, whoa. No,
riding a horse, like, stop it.
Yeah.
You're going to embarrass me in the saddle.
I've seen her areolas, and this is what they look like.
Yeah.
Some real weird moves. Another nominee, I put Naked Ruidian. More funny than sexy, but Moraine just running naked through it.
Yes,
Hilarious.
that was one of my,
Especially,
that was one of mine.
Especially,
I know it's not traditionally sexy, but the idea of her running down the hill, just full sprints.
Matt is like, I'm pretty sure I saw Moraine run by. I think so that can't be right. I'm obviously dying.
Yeah, that can't be true. It can't be true.
It's the one thing I definitely know isn't true. Another nominee I just wrote. I put Ascendra probably. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, she's
pretty hot.
I mean,
in the book,
she's doing some things. She's making some moves.
Yeah. It's pretty hot for letters arranged into words and then put on a piece of paper. I've got to say.
Cinderella.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And then the winner for the Hate Rape Award for best sexual moment, which is just really the best XXX moment, which is the Vin Diesel's better than Ice Cube moment. I just wrote Elayne.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Elayne in general. Yeah.
Yeah. Elayne just deserves the nod just for. Oh, I guess we could put her as best new character.
Oh yeah. Shit. That's the problem. Like, that's another thing. Like, some of these main characters that I feel are important. Like, I forget this is the first time we see them too. Like, I don't know. I'm all over the place. I'll be better for book 5.
I was getting to the point a little bit too where I was like, I don't remember this is the first time I saw this person or not. And then I know there's like smaller characters that we'll probably see for the first time that like I just won't remember because they're not big enough, but I actually absolutely love them. Like,
yeah, like later on. Yeah.
Here's the problem. We might actually have to reread these books to do these awards.
We should do a reread podcast. I bet the collective look of us, like,
well, I mean, we were.
It's probably pretty fucking dumb looking. Is Joe frozen or am I frozen?
No, Joe's frozen.
Okay.
It's not you this time.
Joe is very committed to that bit. It's very impressive. Well, anyway. Well, now we can make fun of Joe. Oh, hey, Joe.
I froze for a second. I'm back. I'm all right.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah.
My internet was not satisfactory, so I switched.
It was.
Anyway,
Was it in or not? Did you get that? You like that, Joe?
You're quite right.
Oh my god, that's a good one. This is it. Don't get scared now award. This is the one now, the big one for best battle.
I'm scared I didn't answer this right.
My favorite. So, my favorite part of this is that Joe wrote the battle at Cold Rock's Hold with the Drakkar and all that stuff, and he said, "Was this even in this book? I don't remember." And I was like, "I don't remember either." Yes, it was this one.
It is in this book.
Book 5.
Yes, almost everything that happens in the IO Waste is in this book.
There's a
Yeah,
shit
I-
stuff in the waste. There's fights in the waste when they're
Oh
leaving.
shit! Wait, no, am I right? Fuck.
There's fights in the waste with Drakgar when they're leaving in book
Yeah.
5.
No,
Yeah.
it is in book 5.
There's
Hold
Dark
Is it
Hounds.
in book 5?
No. It's not in book 5. It's in book 4.
Oh,
They're
okay.
in Rudy in the
Okay.
beginning of book 5, and they leave from there to go through the pass. It's just
Oh, okay. All right. Good.
We really stepped on this joke. It was pretty funny though. when I
All,
was doing-
all Elayne had to do was slink into Rand's room and in her nightie.
she obviously had to do more than that because she did that.
She also wouldn't call it her nightie.
Yeah. She called it her slutty.
I think that's her date.
Busty new character, Elayne or Servana.
Oh.
I can't believe Servana's never winning an award. I can't believe
Yama's
we're
she's
back.
the fucking worst.
I will spit in her face.
How are
Yeah.
people taking us back to the Haygrave Award? Seems like the
I
one
know.
that everyone would want to avoid.
Technically, Joe's taking us back because everyone put in
I mean, the
Honestly,
comments are
pretty-
behind what we're saying, boys.
It's pretty problematic. No,
Not that
you're
weird.
behind with your enter not. Another nominee, Rand versus Asmodean. It's a
Yeah.
big fight.
I
My
think
favorite part of that
Go
fight
ahead.
is the race. It's not a race, and nothing moves around them, and they're just basically they're standing still, but slightly catching up.
But
to
you
each
know
other.
they're leaning forward though. You know, like
They are leaning as
like
hard
they're
as they
doing
can.
like they're not just standing on the platform like this. They're going,
There's no wind. There's no scenery.
hurry up, platform.
Imagine watching a car race and it just looked like two cars in the dark, not moving. The wheels are
Or like
spinning.
a really old school video game where like the car just stays still and the board's moving faster. It's just all dark and you can't really
Basically,
see
it.
anything.
I think this is like a great nominee personally because like this whole thing, the trap that Rand really like he senses the trap that a Forsaken has to be there, right? And he turns it on its head, not realizing which one Lanfear is or is not. That she would dare to be obese. But
Mhm.
like he gets himself a tutor. Like to me, like this is like one of the most
Tutor.
important, a tutor. I apologize. But like to me, it's one of the most important traps he does. Is like really gets like he gets training.
It's not a deep.
I just love this fight, and I mentioned it in my entry, but just like Rand jumping out of the opening and it closes on his boot heel and slices it up. There's just like
That's
little
creepy.
things about this like
Yeah.
this fight that are just like so vividly written that I'm just like I can just see this like it's a movie or something.
Or the
But yeah, that fight's awesome for those moments.
this really narrow, what are in essence just fences of fire, like the laser fence, pretty
Yes.
much. It's almost like that's fucking creepy as shit.
Like Tom
is
Cruise
cool.
going down an elevator,
Yeah.
a big shaft on a string.
It's a little more what fights with the other Forsaken are like instead of like
Yeah,
They show
because
up
like
and they
because
die
the
instantly, and
fights
Ishmael's
so
like,
far
"Oh,
with the
just make me
Forsaken
inside."
are just like I'm gonna do a sword move and then you stab me and then we fall out of the sky. Like there's like nothing like really. Book 1, he doesn't even know what the fuck he's doing, so nothing happens. Book 3 is like Moraine just barges into the room and Bale fires Bilal like it's over in 2 seconds. You know what I mean? Like,
don't say just. That's incredible. She killed a Forsaken.
well, I
Yeah.
mean, you know what I mean. The fight.
Yeah.
The point is,
Well,
there's not
she
much
really
of a
killed
fight
one.
because it's cut short.
The Shamio fight's the first real one, but that
Yeah.
is also he's got Kalendor, so he's just like running the whole time, just trying to reverse shit without knowledge.
And it's pretty awesome, and that's pretty cool. And there's touches of that in this fight, but I think this fight is the first one that's like really like,
Yeah.
one power versus one power fight that we get to see. Sort of Samael fight is very similar to this, or the Robin fight. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, they're all they pretty
Samael,
much-
Samael too.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is not even a winner.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, all right, go ahead. Sorry.
Last nominee is the attack on the stone at the start of the book. The
Yeah,
trial.
that's so brutal. It's
it
horrible.
is awesome.
But it's awesome.
It's also just awesome. It's the
It's awesome.
Stone Still Stands one. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and
Great.
all the Aiel like fighting with the Stone of Tyr instead of like
Yeah.
against, and like just the idea. I just love the
I think
way
that should have been the
he
winner.
describes
too.
Trollocs being like bristling with spears and stuff like that. You know, or a Myrddraal was bristling with spears or something because they wouldn't go down, and like just that like the thought of that, like that's such vivid imagery as well. He was crushing it out in this book.
It's definitely one of my most that fucking weave he does, which we'll probably get to later, assuming that I made the list. Gives me goddamn chills about how in that battle when like he realizes that it's not enough and he's got to hunt them instead of just trying to find them in the hallways, and
Mhm.
so Rand just starts going fucking nuts, doing something that, from time immemorial, pretty much no idea what the fuck he's doing while channeling Kalendor, that can chase down every fucking Chalk and Fade. And like even the girls afterwards are like, that scared the shit out of me. Like that man is a frightening man. It to me is just like one of the fucking coolest scenes in the entire series.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
And then he goes nuts right after.
Yeah.
And then your winner for
Yes.
This is it. Don't get scared now. Best battle. It might surprise you both because you forgot this part of the book happened, but it's the battle for the two rivers.
I mean, yeah, it's the best.
It's fucking amazing.
Again, I don't like. I honestly thought it was book 5.
Neither of you even nominated.
No, I fucking love
like,
that fight.
Happening?
It's so good.
It's not a great battle.
Good.
It's like as far as battle
so
plans
awesome.
go. Yeah.
The archers losing waves, it's such a good fight.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I think that a cooler fucking trap scene though is really what the fuck the girls do to get into
You don't seem to
What's
be
it called?
getting this, even though I texted it to you and then we discussed it before the show. So.
I don't agree with the category. I think this is it. Don't get scared now.
I think for Jono to get this category, we need to title it something else.
I
He's never gonna get it.
I literally texted you and said, "Stop sending me traps. It's the best battle." And then before the show started, I explained it again. I was like, "I just want to make sure we're not confused next time you do this. It's for the best like big fights in the book." And then you just said, "This isn't even a great battle. There's not a lot of great
God
traps."
damn it. Such a good, Jesus Christ.
It's outstanding. Jono, let's get to the Dark One's 3-pronged plan. Why don't we?
Oh shit! Where are we starting?
This one starts. It's going to start on weather, I think.
Oh, this
All
one's
right.
pretty easy.
The Dark One's
Yeah.
3-pronged plan. Let's start with
With a
weather.
own graphic. What?
Oh shit! Wait, is it sunny, raining, snowing, and lightning all at the same
Yes,
time?
and windy.
That is
You have to have the
wild.
wind in there.
That is wild.
The Dark One's having one hell of a night.
What do they call that?
Well, I mean, the wind starts every book, so you gotta have the wind. But it's
so-
snowy, lightning, raining, sunny, and cloudy.
It's truly, truly incredible.
I think we can be honest. The Dark One has been fucking with the Aiel for 3,000 years because it's just one hot baked oven. So they've been fucked.
You think that's him?
Yeah,
I can see it.
yeah. I mean,
And to Jono's point, like the Aiel living in a land where that was ripped apart by men broken from the taint. So really, any natural weather pattern.
They were called the
also
people of the
Dark.
Dragon, and he's just like, "Oh, really? I don't know."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How about you? How
I
about,
don't
how about desert? How about this much better than the blight?
Hey, check this out. Beach, no ocean. Enjoy.
Just hot sand all the time.
fuck these guys. Yeah. Beach, no oceans, definitely. That's the most horrifying description. Yeah.
That's what the desert is.
Yeah. Congrats. It's up in
Beach.
everything of you.
Beach, no ocean.
So, Jono, what's your example of weather? It's just the IEL.
We don't need multiple. It's just one. It's
All
just a
right. Oh
quick
yeah.
break.
That's it. Okay. No, we got it. All right.
You know,
We got it.
Good enough.
It's
yeah.
like
All right.
a little award in between categories. This one sucks, by the way. This category. There's not a lot of choices. The Dumbledore Award for Best Coach.
All right. Real quick before Dumbledore.
Okay.
I'm just gonna make a banner or something that goes across the bottom every time we talk about the 3-prong plan. But that's a really, really old tWoTcast joke. But I think you'll find if you read the books with these 3 plans in mind, you'll realize that it's very valid.
He sat
But,
down
yeah.
at his
He has a 3-pronged plan of attack.
sat down at his drawing board. He's going to give everyone headaches. He's going to make the weather bad. He's
Yeah.
really going to get people in a lot of dicey sexual situations.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
You sound like a great defense lawyer for
I know this. Really?
Dicey sexual situations.
How many times can we say
Uh,
rape?
I mean, we really shouldn't. We should dial it down.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We'll just call it
The
GSS.
Dumbledore.
GSS from now on. We had so
I forgot
few
to change this to the Dumbledore Award for Best Gandalf. I need to,
Yeah.
need to write a note for that.
So
Actually,
stupid.
really, the category name's going to be better than any of these awards.
Yeah.
I guess
I
we
didn't
nom-
have any good answers here.
We nominated Moraine a little bit. Like, I don't think she does a goddamn thing, really.
I thought she was naked. We just talked about that.
She guided Rand right towards Viridian with her naked body, Tom.
Yeah.
I mean, she tries to coach and is constantly fired, really.
Well,
You think
yeah, but at the same time, like, I think like part of that is her trying to figure out how best to teach Rand, but also she's inadvertently doing it because she's like just as stubborn with him and butting heads with him a lot. And it's just like, I don't know, like that's not the worst thing for him to have.
I don't even have
Is this the
kind of
book
needs it.
where, and maybe 5? God damn it! I sound like Joe. It maybe
it's
it's
the next
5.
book if you're going to be where she's like, "Wait, I'll do anything." Just
Yeah, when
Yeah,
she
but that's not
realizes
her
how
being a
to
good
control-
teacher, I don't think.
Yeah, how do you control Saidar? You surrender to it to control it. Which, by the way, that's exactly what my wife has taught me.
The only other nominee is Amos.
Famous?
Famous Amos. She teaches everybody how to make cookies.
Not Vera?
Yeah, that's chocolate chip. Right.
No, Vera doesn't really do a lot of coaching.
Yes, she does. Coaching
Does she?
This I kind of had this going on. Rourke for teaching Rand Spears and hand-to-hand fighting. I sort of did. I said that.
Yeah, a lot of
but I
people
was
do
like,
that, I guess.
question mark. Yeah. You know, I was.
Yeah.
It was a vague one. Avienda for. Oh wait, that's next book. See, same.
No, it's not. Avienda wins Best Coach Award. She just walks next to his horse and gives him shit for like half the book.
Yeah, that actually okay. Yeah.
She coaches him on what Elayne's tits look like. Let's get,
Yeah, that's
get
important.
over this part. She's literally called a teacher for half the book. She's the only one.
Thank you.
All right, so Avienda's the winner. All right,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I wasn't 100% sure how much of that was in this book or book. Well, obviously, if we haven't discussed it enough, book 4 and 5 blend together for me quite a bit.
God damn it.
Sorry.
Many parts of the book just completely dropping from your mind.
I'd probably just put them onto the next book. The more I watch Harry Potter, the more I can't ignore that Dumbledore changed with no one mentioning shit. Everyone noticed.
There's a
The
weird.
more I watch Harry Potter, how often does this happen?
I mean, all the time. It should be. It should be all the
Once
time.
a day?
There's a weird scene with the Pensieve where all of a sudden it just changes for looking. Like there's just
Yeah.
There was a time where I watched all
You mean
8
head
movies,
comes, John?
like
Yeah.
3 times a day, but I'm down to like 1.5.
Twice.
Yeah, 1.5 times.
There's just not enough.
Do you
time
think
in
people will say the same thing about Matt Coffin's? Hey, remember when Matt was that other guy for only that one season? Weird. 'Cause
Yeah,
this new guy's great.
Yeah.
Next award?
Yeah.
No. I mean, we
I'm
could stay
ready.
on this. We can
I'm
say
ready.
this Dumbledore thing and do that all day.
Oh well, on that note, Ayush has a comment. Honestly, I'd say Rioti in the City is up there as Dumbledore. It seems to give everyone ideas. It's a teacher.
Oh,
The city
right.
itself is a
Not-
teacher.
Yeah, we're not doing Gotham as a character. We're done. He's some
All right, yeah, you're right.
auteur movie filmmaker. New York City is a character in my movie. No.
Why not? What was one of the books? What was one of the Harry Potter books? Goblet of Fire. It's a character.
The
Yeah,
Goblet
The
was a
Goblet,
character?
obviously, is a character.
I mean, the Goblet was just a thing that made you disappear. What are those things called?
Oh.
I want a new Matt every season for 7 seasons. Then the 8th season, they somehow bring Barney back. That's great.
And they should
Yeah,
never. And they
you
should
gotta
never
end
mention
cap
it.
it.
Just
Never
like
acknowledge.
Dark Arts. A new one. It's cursed by.
If they ask about it, next question.
You
If they
ready
ask
for
the actor about it, he should be like, "I did get a haircut. Thanks." Next question.
I do feel like a new man.
Yeah, I
Go
did lose
ahead.
a little weight between seasons. Fucking classic Elayne award for Elaine's worst. moment.
The classic Elayne.
Fuck. This is where it's bad. Like,
Well,
this is
this is where not rereading has let us down. I think because I bet there's like
Yeah.
100, but I only have
Yeah,
3.
there's so many good. I
mean, we
hate her
just we
moments.
picked the big ones. The
Yeah.
one where she gets drunk and tries to have sex with her almost stepdad, and
Yeah,
also
God,
right?
I'd like to
Weird,
point
right?
out nearly roofied twice in this book in a weird way.
She doesn't hang out in a lot of common rooms.
dicey sex stories. Where were we on this?
I mean, I know this guy was just getting. I mean, this guy nearly roofies her. Mogideon nearly roofies her, and just like not with roofies themselves. They don't have that drug. They
Mhm.
probably
Yeah.
have like roof weed or something.
Roof weed.
But yeah, it's real close.
Her
That was
refusing
a-
Gallad's help for no good reason at all.
Is that
That was a
this
big
book?
one.
That's
You're
in,
too
Ace
much of a
doesn't-
rule follower. I don't want your help.
Iris doesn't know what happens in each book.
that's in book
Yeah,
5.
well, he does, Tom. They're just out of order.
Exactly. That's my. See,
That's in book
we're calling
5.
this book
Yeah.
4, but to him, that's what is that book 7?
It's book 7 or 8.
You read,
Yeah.
you read book
Yeah.
7, 4th.
Yeah.
The classic, one of the most annoying storylines of all time is the double letters.
Oh
Her
fuck.
fucking letters
Yeah.
we had to hear about over and over. That, I mean, I hated it. I hated it every time Rand
From
brought it up.
multiple people. What about every
It's
time they met? What about every time they met in the world of dreams, and then Egwene was like, "Rand, Elayne meant what she said in her letter."
And he's
He's
like,
like-
"Which what?"
If Egwene said she meant what she said in her letter, like more than twice to me, I'd be like,
Roof tea instead of
It's not like
roofie.
"That's pretty good."
With the plan B tea, roof tea. Yeah. Tea is an important thing there in the Wheel of Time.
Oh,
Yeah. I to your point, Tom, the idea of like sitting there, like, you know, she meant what she said in her letter. Well, this bitch is fucking crazy because absolutely not. And just show her, right? One's like, I can't wait to toss your salad and get you on your back. And the other one's, I want to murder you. Like, what the hell's happening here? It's got to be very, very confusing.
I mean, also, I guess just like Egwene just being like, "He's yours now. Let's go meet him," and then she's like,
It's not
You
autumn,
see-
it's fine.
"Did you see the leader of the entire city and eventually the entire world talk to that one ruler of that one other country? Fuck that guy." He literally talk to everybody. He's going to talk to everybody. It's kind of his job. I guess he doesn't have to talk to her in lingerie, but that's her thing.
It's-
Is
I've
it
got a
really that
meeting.
big of a deal?
You know,
Also, isn't she around people like that all the time? And wouldn't she just like immediately like, oh, it's one of those?
I guess if
That
you were,
type.
if you
That
and all
type.
of your, and like, 1,000 people you knew were all in the same hotel together, and everybody had their own rooms, and your girlfriend was in one room, and you're like in the penthouse on the top, and then your girlfriend found out that like the stripper staying on the second floor like came up to your room at midnight. I can understand being upset about that.
Yeah, maybe. But if
Maybe.
you're like, hey, nothing happened and I kicked her out of my room,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
A little trust.
Unbelievable.
A little trust.
but what if the stripper's really hot?
Well, in that case. I mean,
Yeah.
Stripper is really
entirely.
hot. That is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, the winner of this category is drumroll existing.
No, it's just her being around.
Go
Man.
away forever.
I like her in book 1, and I can't wait to just keep doing this every fucking book though, because it's fucking, like, just,
She gets worse. It gets
Shit.
worse.
It gets worse.
to me, like the entire Camelin plot line doesn't really have to exist. If she just
The closer you get, it gets
It gets
worse.
worse.
Yeah.
Have an exit
But
plan.
anyway,
Next category is who's the most Magneto of this book?
Oh, most Magneto.
Kind of a toss up for a couple.
Technically, I read the Shadow Rising 12.
oh Jesus Christ!
That doesn't make it better, Ayush.
We need to have like an actual like Ayush's reading order like printed somewhere, so we can always like just have that ready to fucking go. Because
We should all.
Len just said, "I love Elayne." I mean, I can't read after that because I'm blind with rage.
Yes,
So
it's
there might be a
just
reason.
Valid. That's the problem. Look, move on to most Magneto.
All right,
Stop
most
going
Magneto.
back.
Sorry.
You're dragging us backwards. You're the new Jono with your comments.
I like to give our comments a voice, Tom. You know,
That's my favorite joke.
I mean, pop them up while we're talking about it.
you're the new Jono. They just arrived.
Well, if they're behind,
on comments,
they don't get to partake in the conversation because it's happening live.
Yeah,
Wow.
these assholes have to pay
Wow,
attention
Tom.
to the dumb shit
All
we're
right,
gonna say.
maybe tomorrow we should hop on the live stream and just sit here silently while people catch up and tell us what they think. It's a fucking live show. Best villain, Keel and Kadir. I enjoyed them
Okay.
the entire time just because the whole time you're just like, you really don't know what's going on there.
that's correct, Dan.
I'm really enjoying the comments.
Apparently, Tom doesn't realize that I'm doing a lot of things.
Also, it's funny to me that you said they just arrived, and I should have just been like, then how do they know what we said? But instead, I was just like,
The comments arrived. It takes time for people to type things as we
some
say
kind of
things out loud. Also,
postage
there's
stamp
a delay.
internet comment system that I'm unaware of. You guys want to talk about Keel and Kadir? Would you watch
Keel
that show?
I mean, that's the best show. If it was just a show about them traveling across the waste and back, like all the time, they're just always on the wagon. Like the wagon is their monk's coffee shop. You know what I mean?
Is it a comedy?
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. It could be
It's a
some
comedy,
sort of, it could be
but it's like a dark comedy because they're constantly like shoving bodies under rocks and stuff like that and burying them in the sand.
serialized
I
murder
thought this was going to
mystery.
be some type of rip off of
Could be murder of the
Keel.
week. Could be, that was like some low hanging fruit. I just
Well,
chose
what if it's like reverse and it's like
Is it
a murder
sketch
of the
comedy
week,
with
but they're the
Keel?
murderers? They're not the detectives.
Larry here is Keel just saying, "Welcome to Good Burger." Home of Good Burger.
Bad.
So no sketch comedy.
I guess.
Anyway,
I didn't
that's
even
our-
say anything bad.
so that's our commentary.
I'm just gonna do it for
on-
dumb
on
jokes.
these
now,
two.
too.
It's just like what kind of TV show would they be in? The next nominee is Black Aja / Elayne. I mean, they're still
Black
this
Aja
is
slash what?
Elayne?
Or sorry, Leandra.
She's not.
Oh,
Thank
Okay.
you. Spoiler for things that
well,
don't
I mean,
actually happen.
Elayne inadvertently helps the Black Aja. Don't get me wrong, but like they're not,
Yeah.
they're not
So does Rand.
connected.
Yeah.
They're not connected like corn chowder and money.
No, nothing else really. They don't feed back into each other.
They don't feed back into each other.
One feeds
so
the other,
easily.
and that one goes off. Yeah, not easy
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
This was nearly the winner. Again, this might stun the two of you. I don't know if you remember this happened, but it's Lord Luke. This guy's he's fucking terrible. He's one of the biggest villains in the entire goddamn book.
You know he's Slayer.
But they're not. He's not though. He's Slayer in the world of dreams. He's Lord Luke outside. He's a different man.
And you do know the whole time, by the way.
Yeah.
It's real obvious. Yeah. And it's
Wow,
also
man, Wyatt said Slayer was a bitch in this book.
Hey, we've got 4.5 minutes till my computer does a forced reboot. So we need to vamp,
What?
and then we're going to talk about the winner, and then you guys can do the we'll do halftime, and that'll let my computer restart.
Well, or we could do headaches or something too.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just be gone briefly. I mean, it is almost time for the halftime song. Isn't
No,
it?
let's take a break. Let's take a break.
Well, hold on. Still 4 minutes, 10 seconds.
No, I'm just telling you. I understand that. Tell me when.
You'll know when I'm gone.
Forced reboot is code for sex at Casa de Jono.
Forced reboot is code for dicey sexual situation.
What the fuck were we
We
just
saw
talking about?
We were talking about Luke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So Lord Luke,
He sucked from the minute he shows up until the.
Oh, I
very
agree,
end.
and I fucking hated
The
him.
world dream.
Yeah, you're right. I fucking
He
hated him.
kills
God
the wolves.
Slayer, right?
Yeah.
We're calling him Slayer, right? The entire fucking thing. The first thing he does
Well,
is
it's the
creepy
both
as
of them,
shit.
but yeah.
There's dead wolves. There's dead wolves in
Yeah,
the dream.
so-
the,
real
the
bump.
dream itself
So
is
hold on
empty
though,
of
Jono.
wolves.
More than Slayer murdering wolves in the Wolf Stream, which is despicable because they're fully dead, and Perrin hates him, and he's the worst. I hate more that the Two Rivers people are listening to Lord Luke. He's the worst villain to me. He's a better Magneto because he has the wool pulled over their eyes, and they think he's like a hero, and it's fucking so infuriating because you know he's a piece of shit, and Perrin's like, he's a piece of shit, and he's like, I used to be a piece of shit.
There's a lot of
Like,
parallels to our current political.
I got too excited. I heard the word worst villain, like you were denigrating him as a villain, as opposed
No, he's
to
the worst, as in it deserves the award.
Oh no!
Oh,
yeah.
For
he's
most
right.
Magneto.
He hasn't even won the. He didn't even win the award.
I know,
There's
but he
somebody-
deserves it.
Somebody more annoying, if you can
Oh.
believe it.
Who's that?
That's Culloden.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yay. Congratulations on winning that one.
I mean, he is the worst. You know,
with his
The-
dragon tattoos. Yeah.
well, they're not
fucking
up
worst.
here. They're
Well, they're
They're
here.
here.
Well, they're
Yeah,
wow.
every time I read the part about him at Alcardal and he's like walking around and showing the tattoos, I'm like, there's no snipers in this world.
just and then dead. Yeah,
Or
just
no,
the
he's
Snares from book one.
honestly the worst part about Culloden is how long it goes on. Like you're just like motherfucker, people are believing him. Like it's the worst. You're just like, God damn it, the election
they
wasn't
want to.
stolen.
He's a fantastic villain, and I
Yeah.
think it does actually make Asmodean kind of a better character for this because he helps create a already psychotically overly ambitious man. Something
Well, to
further.
that note,
It's exhausting
But
that-
isn't Savannah pulling
Yeah.
the strings from Wildman Wyatt? But I don't. It's less her pulling his strings and more like she's in on the plan. I mean, he's not like a patsy. You know, like he's doing shit on purpose with Asmodean. He knows he's not really the Karakarn. He's just fucking with everybody.
Yeah, he even might want to believe it.
I mean,
the
he
best
wants to
lie-
believe it, sure, but he knows he's not. Like he didn't
He's
go
like,
to
there's-
Rudia.
It's an interesting question though, of like, and I don't think we ever really find out, right? Like, all right, so obviously
But the way his
No.
justification for how he got the shit when he gets called out as being a liar, I think he believes.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Oh,
Prophecy
yeah.
didn't say that. Doesn't say that. Fuck you. 40
Every
seconds.
Culloden scene. This fucker again.
Uh,
Thank you, Noman Gordon. I
the
agree.
next, you got to do headaches for the 3-pronged plan when it comes.
Oh, the 3-pronged plan. It's the headaches.
30
Well, good
seconds.
luck on your
until this,
first
this goes down.
It's not the worst, Jono. It's one of the most important.
Where are we? Headaches.
Yeah, headaches. Yeah.
So the one headache I can really remember, like first, well, I guess there's several, but the first headache that kind of yeah, you like that I just lose my mind. Is
To our point, though, there's several dark one-induced headaches.
yeah.
I think Tom's
So-
officially frozen. I'm gonna move that up.
Okay, I was getting worried. I'm like, we're gonna have to vamp for a while here, and I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna say.
No. We're gonna take a break.
One of the biggest headaches in this whole series or in this book is Elayne drinking too much wine after trying to have sex with the person who could or could not be father, her stepfather, really his father.
That
not
makes a
father.
lot of sense.
I've lost my mind. I drink a lot. So that's definitely a dark one plan here to kind of like come in and ruin like a family relationship. Right?
But that's not really dark one plan.
Not dark one, no. But I believe that pretty much everyone who goes in the waste gets a giant headache because of
Sun poisoning.
the sun poisoning. That's exactly right.
Yeah, there's really not a good example of headaches in this book, right?
I'm sure like had things gone wrong.
Well,
Elayne was-
let's put it this way to our viewers and our listeners. Like, this joke is derived from Halima giving headaches to Egwene. Like, that's where this joke came from. But then we found out that happens weirdly often, and it's not just that one instance. And we were like, "What is this, like part of his plan, just to give people headaches?"
Joe, don't. We don't need to.
Here's the key: it is part of his plan. It's a 3-pronged plan. And
We
one
don't
of
need
them
to
is
justify
headaches.
his plan. Okay,
Yeah.
he's already. Yeah, we don't need to go back and apologize when it looks like it's not there. It's because he's.
I mean, it's because he's doing his job well. If no one realizes the dark one's causing your headaches, it's because he's doing his plan. You know.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of people wake up with some pretty bad headaches. Oh shit! I just realized a great weather one, by the way.
Oh,
All
yeah?
right. So, spoiler. Varen is what? Black
Brown Aja? Oh, Black Aja.
Black.
Yes.
What does she do? And Joe, you may not remember this because you don't remember anything from it. She is the one who causes inclement weather in the Two Rivers when they steal or like rescue the blacksmith's family from the White Cloaks. So what happens later? The next 2 or 3 days, torrential storms. Now, is that good or bad?
Yeah.
It hides them, but then what happens? Slayer creeps
she fucked up the weather. Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, she's an agent of the Dark One in technicality. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I totally buy it. If
Yeah.
you suffered migraines, the migraines I get, you would totally believe the Dark One used them to fuck everyone up. Hey, that's the point. We do believe it, Glenn. That's why it's one of his 3-pronged plan. Everyone knows that. All right, well, that's been 3-pronged plan, headaches.
The fucking
We're gonna take a brief break and listen to a Tabby song, and we'll be right back. We'll be right back.
All right.
We'll be right back. It's a 2 minute 30-second song.
I went to bed late last night, tried to catch my photo wings by counting sheep. Then some popcorn in the morning woke me up by going beep beep beep. Who's that asshole with the car alarm? With the car alarm? Who's that asshole with the car alarm? With the car alarm? Having lunch with a good friend. Mashed potatoes and a tuna fish on rye. Along comes asshole in the parking lot. Crosses Prius with the roof but goes inside. Minute later, car alarm goes off. All it takes is just trash to drive me back. Cops don't care, I don't give a damn. So I'm gonna take this car out for a drive. Who's that asshole with the car alarm? With the car alarm? Who's that asshole with the car alarm? With the car alarm? Break it down! Did you know the inventor of the car alarm was bludgeoned to death in 1987 by a mob of angry velociraptors? His family was subsequently jailed, but his legacy lives on. And that legacy goes a little something like this. Went to bed late last night, tried to catch my photo wings by counting sheep. And then some asshole in the morning woke me up by going beep beep beep. Who's that asshole with the car alarm? With the
Oh, hey, Jono.
Hi.
Hey. Guess he's not back yet.
Is
You
it
know what just occurred to me?
that he's the one with the next categories?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what else occurred to me? I have no even recollection of what we've done already. I would totally hunt Trollocs. Trollocs steak on the grill is delicious.
That's an interesting question, right? They are part pig, right? Some of them are part pig, part this. What does Trolloc? Troll pork?
Well, Wyland Wyatt said, I love that after that parent tells the boys they're going to hunt Trollocs. So, I mean, yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Legitimate question. Like, think about that, right? I mean, you've got instead of just they're 9-10 feet tall, really recycled humans and animals, right? I mean, can you think of anything more?
Well, but part human is the key. So would you eat it, but only in like your soccer team that crashes in the Himalayas?
It just happens to have a Trolloc on board.
Yeah, and there's a Trolloc on board.
Yeah,
or they're up in the mountains and you hunt them.
Yeah, do you like a half?
Beach, they are also part human. See, we're on the same page, Beach.
I get that. But would you eat a Trolloc if you can hunt Trollocs? But they're part like some of them are
was
part
like sausage, so like the human meat was mixed with the pig meat. Sure.
Well, it's all mixed. It's
no, they're like No, I feel like there's like clear delineation between like animal and human parts sometimes. Yeah, it's marbled. Yeah.
All right.
Wait. You didn't tell me things were marbled. Yes.
Yeah. Give me that rye, you old bag.
That Wagyu Trolloc rest over there. Yeah, gonna go with that.
Tom, that worked out basically perfectly. I'd eat Trolloc tacos, says Brother Dan. That's
the pink taco.
I mean,
with enough seasoning,
and enough toppings.
Anything's good. Yeah.
A lot of toppings. Are we? What are we ready for the next award?
We're ready if you are.
I think we're ready. Right. Yeah. I mean, we've been burning time for a while.
Did you already get through the Taffy song?
Yeah.
Shit. All right. The Artax Dies Award for Saddest Moment.
Artax.
I almost got excited and realized I shouldn't. Bring it
and
down.
That was a Artax moment for yourself.
When Artax dies, the saddest moment of the book. I mean, I already know what the winner is, or what I think it should be, but I don't think you do. Nominations.
This is one of the ones where I'm just like, I don't understand what the fuck's happening with you. So we've got the Isle history and Murad and however you say it, clawing his eyes out. That's
Murad.
How is that not number one?
Not clawing his eyes out.
It's not.
Eating his eyeballs.
Oh yeah.
Chewing on them, and they're frothing down his mouth as he moves forward. That's horrifying.
How is the Isle history?
Just the fact that they were peaceful.
We're not here to litigate the order and the winner. We're just here to talk about the nominees.
Yeah.
Okay. How is it a nominee and not a winner?
Well, you'll understand when you hear the winner, Tom. Or John.
I mean, imagine if a presenter at the Oscars was reading the nominees and they get to the first one and it was like, "Excuse the fuck out of me, not the winner." It's not
Tom.
Way better.
That's not
show.
What we're doing. We're also the viewing audience. We're nominating them and presenting the nominees and the winner, but we're also the people at home going, "What the fuck?"
And sometimes we're looking. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
The beautiful thing is that we picked as a group and we all agreed.
The
Trolloc ambush on the Two Rivers people is pretty depressing.
Oh,
a lot of those bitches go down.
And I think the most heartbreaking thing is when they get back. When they get back and Perrin, he's been injured, and he still remembers for years, like that lady, like, "Where's my grandson Joe and Tom?" And he's just, "Get me inside. I can't be here," because they're fucking dead.
This is one of those moments with Robert Jordan that, and it I think it's more so later with like the IEL's numbers and stuff and like the armies. But like, this is one of those moments where I'm like, does he study his math? Because like he'll say like there's X amount of people here, and then there's a fight, and like X amount of people die, and then like 2 months later in the books, he's like there's 100,000 now, and you're like, wait.
I think it's pretty well planned out. The most annoying thing about this was like sometimes you'll play a video game and like it's like open and you can run and kill people. And it's like, I've killed 100 enemies. That's got to be it. There just never seems to be an endless amount. I'm like, they just keep respawning out of thin air. It's exhausting. But in this fight, they actually do keep respawning out of thin air through the Waygate. Like, it doesn't matter how many Trollocs you kill. There are always more stormtroopers.
It's a subset of the three-pronged plan. The dark one likes to respawn is
Possible racist. Yeah.
Another nominee is when Rand tries to bring that dead girl back to life. This would have hit. This might have been the winner if we knew who this girl was and she wasn't just some random chick in the stomp.
It's not that it's not a girl we don't know. It's the depths with which he so badly wants to bring her back to life. That's what makes it sad. It's not that I don't know her.
I get more worried that he's going
pain
crazy than I am sad about it.
That's exactly like that's what Kalendor does. Spoiler. This is, it's so again like everything about that fucking scene is it's really one of my favorites in the whole fucking book. Right? Like I think the murder of all the Trollocs, but then what he does, he's pounding on her, making her fakely breathe through the power. That's absolutely insane.
I mean, he's marioneting her around the room.
He should have taken her to his bedroom, because he could have had a lot of fun.
Do you think the saddest part is that Rand didn't try to heal her wounds before he tried to make the heart and the lungs work?
Sure. It does seem, because she does start like pumping blood and then just pumps it right out. Like, fuck, I forgot the dam here.
Wow. RJ wrote a story for that girl. We all know it.
Yeah, she definitely has a name.
Yeah, you know where that story is?
It's a fucking 3-page backstory.
That ends up, she's someone from one of those that books where he's banging chicks in Charleston in the Revolutionary War. I highly recommend those books.
It was gonna be a
Fallon Blood,
a near novella in an anthology that was 87 pages long about what she had for breakfast that morning. She's dead.
Music. Thank you, Joe.
All right.
I would have loved that anthology, yeah.
And the winner is?
The award for the saddest moment is when Perrin finds out his entire fucking family is dead and fucking breaks down and everybody loses their fucking minds and neither one of you even considered it.
No.
That's the winner.
We've been over why I haven't considered it. We don't need to go down that road again.
It doesn't register as high. Like, it's fucking awful, but his family to me is really the Luhan. Thank you.
I completely agree. Oh, sorry. Should have put that up for more than 1 millisecond. I completely agree with you, Jono. Yeah. To me, the loss of his family was like almost like non-consequential because it just didn't like. There's no weight behind it because we didn't meet them.
Wild.
Yeah.
They're his dead family, and I get that, but like. I agree with Jono. Like his family is Master Lewin and Mr. Sluin. I don't think of them
on him.
I wasn't even sure he had parents
about his stupid family.
in the first book.
Okay,
Parents.
Tom is,
would you watch a TV show called Parents? Parents.
Parents.
Yeah, I'd watch that.
No.
Wait,
what's the premise?
Yeah.
It's kind of a Perfect Strangers type situation.
Oh,
okay,
I'm in. Is it Balki Bartokomous?
Yeah, there's a Balki Bartokomous in it.
Tom, to your point,
Yeah,
obviously the issue is not like, do we as the reader know parents, but do we instead, great show by the way, do we instead watch, absorbing it through him, his numbness and the way, Fael looks at him, like it's definitely, and she eventually allows him to cry and he finally fucking does it. That's how she allows him. She eventually gets him to cry. And he allows himself to do so. Like, it's really, of course Ayush wouldn't know. That was like the 13th, 12th.
I didn't even remember he had a family when we got told they were dead, says Ayush. But here's the key.
I just realized that
Ayush didn't read about his family until they were dead.
I just realized Perfect Strangers is a weird twist on I Love Lucy. That's ridiculous.
Everything's. I mean, and that's just honestly, it's just a ripoff of Harry Potter and his living with his aunt and uncle.
Obviously. Yeah.
You know.
Every time Harry and the kids get in trouble, they have some explaining to do.
Every pitch from Tom, elevator pitch from Tom, not convincing. See, yeah.
Oh, Tom.
I mean, I didn't really give one. Biggest Catfish Award. Let's get to it.
Oh,
Was it
the
your-
biggest catfish.
The biggest catfish is going to be Tom's effort at his new show.
Biggest Catfish. A lot of
All
content.
right.
Two
Yeah,
not so great.
there's
Well, one, Jono brought up Tom Maryland just writing letters and pretending he's other people. That's literally like being a catfish on the internet.
That's it. It was the best answer and simultaneously the least interesting answer.
Yeah, if Tom would have included drawings in the letters, like, and by the way, this is what I look like. We've met before. Like
Yeah.
that.
This is what I look like. We've met before.
What's funny is like what
Just a charcoal drawing of a different person. By the way, this is my profile pic.
I'm I'm the Lord.
Oh, it's the best I've ever heard. I love it.
I as soon as I started remembering like what all happened to this, I was like, oh, Tom Maryland. Tom Maryland catfished everyone.
I mean, he did. You're not wrong. I completely agree with you. It's totally worth being a nominee. But it's just so, I don't know, plain that it's not as interesting.
No, it's actually fantastic. But we have a lot of good nominees.
Mhm.
Less good, not as good as Tom, but Old Mog, she does a good catfish on some people in this.
Oh,
book.
fake out. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not a maid.
They cleaner? Yeah.
I'm actually a maid. Are you dusting the fan?
She is not. She is not a maid.
She may be like the biggest, like just every scene she's in is a catfish. Like, because she's really everything you like about her. Like the Reddish Leandrin in the next book is going to have the same thought that really there was. Oh yeah. So by the way, if you ever think about what B just saying here, the Ravens prologue is from the young adult version of book 1 that was put out, where it was split into 2 pieces. So the Ravens is like
Also in the comic book version.
Oh yeah.
They included
So you
in
get
that.
to see
Read
a little
that.
bit.
Definitely read that.
Yeah.
I did.
Our last 3 nominees, really any of them could have been the winner. Let's start with Kulad.
I mean, come on, big catfish and by any other name, you know what I mean? I'm the Dragon Reborn.
Cool.
Are you? I am. I've got tattoos to prove it.
The guy is full of shit.
and
We all know.
and people believe him. So I mean, like, pretty good catfishing.
So
You know?
is he the catfish or is Asmodean the catfish?
No, it's a person doing it. I mean,
that's
Asmodean
semantics,
is a
but-
catfish because he's not Jason Natale either. But he didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, another
Also, yes.
another nominee for great catfish is again Lord Luke. Come on,
Oh yeah. I mean,
Jesus
I'm
Christ.
a perfectly normal person, just hanging out in this small backwater town.
Oh, are you guys having trouble with Charles?
Very interested in your politics
Yeah.
and who's in charge. Definitely not murdering everyone.
Very glad Gaston from Beauty and the Beast arrived to save the day.
By the way, every like traveling lord or lady, because who was the first one? It was Moraine in book 1. What
Yeah.
happens? Trollocs come and burn. Like so she's
Yeah.
technically
Just every time they have a stranger that's of any like highborn status, just murder.
That's true. If you're in the 2 Rivers and someone's like, "Hey, stranger came to town. It's exciting," just be like, "Well, I'm gonna go lock myself."
God damn, I gotta go lock up my farm and hide in the mountains in a cave for like 6 weeks. I'll see you in a while.
this is not good.
It's
Yeah.
time to take some action, boys. Oh,
And
sorry.
then all right. So our winner is maybe not the best catfish, but the award is for biggest catfish. So that's Landfear.
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah.
Sick Jono a second.
that's good.
That tracks.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not sponsored by Ozempic or Mounjaro.
Do you think that was like a dark friend that she like murdered and took over the likeness of, or did she like make up this character? Do you think?
It's a great question. It's
Did she did she sit down one day with Dungeons and Dragons dice and roll up a new character and was like, let's make her fat?
do you think
What
she
happens?
walked?
I've tried a couple of different versions.
I think she walked into a room with Asmodean and she's like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "I think it's a little over the top."
And she's like, I think the fat rolls. I think it plays up. Plays it
I
up.
think
That's not me.
If anyone gets close enough to touch you, it's going to ruin it, and you're taking up like a
half
lot.
the stage.
Half the room.
Yeah,
And then
but
she's
no
like,
one
but we're
wants
going to the
touch her.
waist. It's wide open.
Wide open.
And
No one-
she's going to be
As
sweating.
As
Each
long
boat-
as no one comes in our wagon, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Hey, Asmodean, beach, no ocean. I got all the space. In the
Let's go.
Noman Garden said, how did Asmo know what the tattoos looked like? He knew the Dragon Banner, but the clan chief markings specifically were the Daishane?
Because all the clan chiefs had it on one arm. Rand has it.
Yeah,
on
I don't
two.
think that's like super hard to figure out. I mean, they don't like show off the tattoos necessarily, but like
No, they don't show them off.
it wouldn't be
Yeah.
hard to like see one, you know, at some point. Like
I mean,
they do
who's
get
to say-
naked in sweat tents a lot.
Who's to say one of those dickheads in the waist? It wasn't a clan chief.
Which dickhead in the waist?
One of those dickheads with those red veils.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
that could
Oh,
easily be possible.
Anyway, not yeah.
Because you have to go to Rudy.
Gloss over that one.
Well, you said dickhead in the waist. You meant the blight.
Oh yeah, the
So
blight.
that we would have gotten the
Because
clue.
you would never have
Well,
gone.
I was trying
to
not.
Rudy.
I was trying not to give it away.
Yeah.
Next
Oh,
well, we don't
category
care about
is most valuable.
Garden is a great question, and we didn't give a great answer.
Person, character.
Most
Thing.
valuable character.
Character.
Who is the answer? Oh, is the answer just Lanfear? Oh,
Yeah.
I guess.
It's the
Okay.
biggest catfish.
All right, clearly I need to make I need
feel
to
like
make
I said
a
way too
and
much.
the winner is thing so we can kind of delineate like the separations from the nominees and
I feel like just saying it's been working, but for some reason, no.
not
All
really.
right, no.
Would you see Asmodean popping into a sweat tent? Yes, absolutely. Are you kidding? That guy would be like,
Oh, Asmodean's
I'm gonna
popping
write some
into
songs about this. Depends on
He is
how well
not-
they're hung.
He's not bringing his harp though, because guess what? That would ruin.
I
the
mean, he
string.
might.
No, it would ruin the string.
There's a lot of possibilities. There's a world of dreams, guys.
I mean, yeah, there's a million reasons. There's a million reasons why he would be able to duplicate.
So most valuable character,
tattoos.
as mentioned before, you guys forgot Nynaeve was in this book and fought Mogideon and won like a solid third of the book for everybody.
The Nynaeve Mogideon fight is one of my favorite fights of all time. And I'm very upset at myself for not having remembered it was in this book. But yeah, she's awesome.
I mean, she
And,
does other things, but
Crushes
like,
it the fuck out, and it's so amazing. And I think and I've said this on the podcast 7,000 times, but the idea of them just staring at each other and cutting weaves and slicing weaves before they reach each other, and they're just like sweating and they're not moving, and then that maid walks into the room, is like, the fuck's going on over there? It is the greatest visual of like what a non-one power user would be like, or be like to see a one power fight happening, and it is just so fucking perfect. And I really, really hope they put it in the show because I wanted to see that in real life for so long.
That juxtaposition.
Just the sweating and like perfectly still, and no one's moving, and then this maid walks through, like, what the? What?
there's no.
You know?
If they film it like that, there's no way an executive at Amazon isn't just like, no.
Yeah, cut that. It's boring.
I would have two women
At
standing 20
add
feet away.
That's
something to
swirly
that.
bullshit.
Yeah, make something happen. And then I guess let's just stick with the theme of people you guys forgot. Parrot.
Yeah,
Who?
I mean,
He was in this book.
I mean,
I didn't forget Perrin.
he basically single-handedly saved the Two Rivers.
I
Perrin
had
is-
Perrin in.
Parent is the wacky neighbor that lives across the hall in the sitcom Parents.
I had Taryn in mind.
It's hilarious because he moves out from home, and they're proud
But he
of
just
him,
moves across the hall.
across the hall. It's ridiculous.
To the Luans.
That's how much he loves his yeah, to the Luhans. They run a
Running
business.
away.
They
And
run a
just-
business
yeah.
downstairs out of the walk up they
in the
have in New
basement or
York.
something. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
yeah. Furnace. I don't know. We're workshopping this. I feel like it's off to a better start than it was previously.
Yeah.
What would you do if there were spin-offs in the Wheel of Time universe and this was
I wish there was so many. Like
All right,
Dragonlance,
parents, parent.
where there's just
Tom,
one. Where
parent
you're just
moves
like, why
across
do they
the hall,
even
but he's
write
not
this
the
one?
wacky neighbor.
Do you remember that Dragonlance book about the Minotaur? And you're like, why?
I'll tell you what.
You just that amount of stupidity.
We should probably put her on the show again. Never forget the fact that we have had, of all people, because we're the best podcast ever.
Joe, that graphic looks like one person wanting to do a thumb war, and there's no one to play with.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh,
It's just me.
just.
But you get one time to use the other hand. Oh, still just me.
I'll put a sad face emoji on the other side of it.
No, on the same side. It's
Oh,
just
sorry,
sad.
same side.
And then on the other side, maybe some laughing faces. Another nominee for most valuable character, based on the groundwork she's laying here, is Lanfear, Jono.
Yeah, Jono, you want to talk about that one a little bit?
So Lanfear is
He
playing
does a lot.
both sides to a certain extent, right?
Yeah,
Obviously,
as she
she
does,
has
yeah.
really fucked with Rand just on a psychological level, which is good for the Dark One's plan because odds are gonna have a headache. And sent her to the waste. We're in bad weather. Secondly, though, she's also like setting herself up to possibly inherit his penis. And
She just got a little rapey too in the Pond Dream.
Ooh, yeah, that Pond Dream definitely could have been top sex moments. Because he's saying
It
about
almost
men.
made it.
Yeah. But anyway, speaking of almost making it, that's a different conversation. So yeah, she's kind of everywhere, right? She's in the stone. She actually helps him, be aware of the fact that there is this giant battle happening outside your room right now, which is one of the coolest battles. She's all the way through as a lovely woman with a little bit of sweat through the entire waist, and she helps set him up intentionally or unintentionally with a dude to help channel. So thank you, TK Moon. Yeah. So
That's what a good manager does. This sounds like a disgruntled cashier that thinks the manager does nothing.
disgruntled cashier. You have to remember.
I have to check everybody out. The manager just sits in the office and doesn't do shit.
Honestly, MVP is a Sindri for never giving up trying to fuck Rand.
That's like you can't give
she-
the MVP to a guy in the World Series that gets to the plate every single time, but constantly strikes out. I mean,
Yeah. That's not an MVP.
good try, but win.
The essence of speaking.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The winner.
Strike
weirdly
out.
enough-
I think that's the MVP of the game.
You see that guy? He struck out like 18 times, but he kept trying.
He kept trying.
The winner, weirdly enough, rarely come up with this entire conversation. Just Rand is the most valuable character of the book. This is a big, really big book for Rand. Like a big.
Well, especially because
It is a big one.
4 chapters. Yeah, this book. This is an awesome Rand Althor book. This is
I agree.
this is one of the most just like to me books. Well, all of them, but like especially when I first started to read, 7 was the one that was just recently out in hardback. So 4 is middle of the series, and you're fucking tearing up new shit, new channels and new weaves, all these things, and Rand is fucking learning as much as he can. He takes a whole fucking party from Tyr to the waist. He goes through time, it's so fucking awesome to read.
It's also a giant breath of fresh air from book 3, where Robert Jordan was ramping up the insanity, and he was barely in the book, to back in the books as a full-on character again.
Yeah.
And so much is going on.
So much.
And He Who
This is my
Comes with the
favorite book.
Dawn and the Ruidian stuff and the history of the Aiel and like knowing that like a giant piece of his backstory is like answered and like
Yeah.
it's so fulfilling too. It's not just like you're like, oh well, it's I have a mystery birth and blah blah blah, and you get the answer and you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. It was fucking amazing, you know. So like, there's like a lot of shit going on with Rand in this book that you're just like, fucking bravo.
Like nearly an hour and a half, and we're just like, I kept making fun of you for forgetting Perrin. I'm like, oh yeah, Rand was in this book too, by the way. He's the
Yeah, well, I mean, like Rand is in all the situations with all those other characters where
he's an orbit around this.
Yeah, but and also in Best Battle we talked about like I said, like him leaping through the fucking gateway right as it's closing and it cuts his boot off and he's like, just the whole fight's amazing.
Yeah.
Like
We're not done.
everything's really
We still have the big category left.
I would be very upset if the Aiel history isn't just one whole episode to itself.
Oh God, I hope so. Yeah.
Like, because like honestly,
certainly deserves it.
There's
Save that.
Save that.
We're going to move on to our final category of the night, but first we need Jono to tell us about the dicey sexual situation portion of the Dark One's plan.
Oh, that's so. First off,
Jono, what's funny? What's funny?
So things have changed, right? And I can't wait to get to later books with Matt Cawthon. Technically, almost everything Elayne and Isindri does around Rand.
Yeah, pretty rapey. Yeah,
pretty rapey. As a
like
teenager,
borderline roofying.
We'll get there. But as a teenager reading, I didn't see that at all.
Well, sure, yeah.
As a man who's 38, I don't.
But is it part of the Dark One's plan? That's the
Yeah,
question.
you know what? As AC/DC said, rape me all night long. That is not correct, and please do not quote me.
So Ascendra trying to get with Rand, definitely part of the Dark One's plan because it's Kadir
literally Dark One or Dark
shoving her at him like nonstop and just being like, "You failed again? Get in his pants!" You know, like and just like keeps pushing her.
Yeah,
for whatever reason, just to get an assassin close to him. I'm not sure.
Well, once you start fucking a person, you tell them everything.
That's what it is.
That's what she says. Yeah, like she's like, you know, once you start sleeping with someone, you learn everything. So that's part of it. But yeah, you can be very. Plus, then afterwards, you could probably put like a finger in Rand's ass and make him do anything, like turn it into a marionette. Oh yeah,
turn him into a marionette.
Yeah. So that
works.
We are nowhere near done with this rape talk.
I mean, it's not.
No, we are.
No, seriously, there are actually better options. So,
all right, what's your number one option?
So outside of Elayne and Isindra being by definition the biggest rapist, I because all they want to do is that kind of coitus with him,
have sex against his will. Yeah.
I don't think by definition was the right way to. All right.
You're welcome, Paul. I feel like everything that like Hadden and Kadir, there's no way that man isn't just a walking just like sex violation. Like he
definitely gives us those vibes, but there's nothing we see. Right?
Yeah, if he moved in next door to you, he would definitely have to knock on your door. And
he hides several bodies. Like he's killing Aiel randomly, right? Like throughout, like he's like hiding bodies and keeping people.
Some dark friends, yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, but like, what's he doing before that? We don't know.
What's he doing afterwards?
Easiest way to pull a man's string is his penis. Wait. Thank you.
Did you have any additions to that?
No, that's it. These are your segments, Jono. That's been the Dark One's three-pronged plan. Rape. There's a lot of sexual assault in these books, and surprise, all of them are dark friends.
Oh my god! What is it? A symbol for rape busters?
You think if we listen? I didn't want to literally make an icon someone getting raped.
Dan
So I
Aykroyd would be in that movie.
I thought maybe just having sex with a big fuck
Can we
you
get
no
Bill,
over
can we
it.
get Bill Murray?
That's the best way to do it. Anyway, what's the last category? What are we doing?
I don't know. I'm just trying to rewrite the song to Ghostbusters, but involving rape somehow in my
Down,
head.
down,
of it.
down, down. Da, 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 da.
It
Just
still
fucking
has
look-
Bustin' Makes Me Feel
And it
Good.
don't look good.
Yeah.
Bustin' does make me. I guess.
Makes me feel
I get,
good.
yeah, the rapist would have to pop up and say that, and then get chased by the rape busters, like in the video.
Now I'm picturing a bunch of Aiel singing "Safety Dance." You can dance if you want to.
All right,
that's
on your
great.
left award for the biggest moment. We're gonna combine.
The On Your Left award for the biggest moment in the books, which is basically like, as Jono classically has described it, the Hornevalier gave him shivers.
We've got one for each of the plot lines of the book, I guess. But
Yeah.
so so first we'll start with Rand like destroying all the Trollocs in that super awesome way. Why didn't he do that again?
So
Do that
good.
again later.
Because he was scared to use Calendar, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
part of it.
He's counter a lot later though.
Fuck yeah.
And he does. Yeah. But is it good? No.
I don't remember how I did that thing where I just like they all
Murdered.
died. You should definitely do that they all die thing one more time.
I think Calendar, like as a MacGuffin, was written very well. Like throughout book 3 was like a big thing that he got, and then he was like, "Fuck, I can't use this." Later on, he uses it, and he's like, "Shit, I shouldn't have used that. I'm losing it." And then like by the end, the way they use it, you're like, "Bravo." Way to tie all that around. Like instead of having it there that he can use all the time, like it's something that like he had to figure out. I don't know. It's just very well
I think it
as,
does-
as an object that you could use to solve a lot of problems. It was very well written in the sense of like
I
they
just
spaced
very
it out. It was
I very
very-
much enjoyed the lightning strikes that could pay attention to hallways, doors, and staircases.
very
just-
sensitive.
I'm holding the sword, so I'm only gonna hit these people. Yeah.
Pretty wild. It's just a lot of fun if you don't think about it too hard, for sure. But pretty awesome too. You're like, holy shit, it's getting real now. And
I
plus the
realized-
effect that it has on everybody else, they're like, God damn, okay, that guy is the dragon. Jesus Christ. That was crazy.
Have you
I
seen that?
love,
Have you
I
seen
love
that?
how scared. Like I like how scared women are. Like, but like Egwene, Elayne, and Nynaeve talking about it afterwards. Like the fact that they're so like I don't know if it's in the part. Like one of the most interesting things in this book is when Rand has to learn, like channels at them to show how strong he is,
Mhm.
and one like they're trying to like make him do it, and he's not trained at all, obviously. But he does like 12 weaves simultaneously, which is so much more than they can do, so much more than Nynaeve can do. And this is him just lashing out, and they're like, "Holy shit, he's strong!" And then they see this, and they're like as you would be, right? Like this is a dude
Mhm.
setting off fucking like bizarre nuclear weapon almost, right? That's bizarrely targeted and all this, but just
It's like the Iron Man missiles that just like hit all
Yeah.
the hit all the bad guys and not the children and women that are being attacked.
Except those can't even go upstairs and around corners.
Yeah, that's true. But it is Ren just kind of being like, "Shoo," and be like, "Shoo," you know, like to kind of
it's so frightening.
Now it's got
like the
AC/DC in my head.
Mandalorian with his little like needle things.
Yeah. Anyway, next
It's pretty amazing.
Next
Anyway,
nominee is,
next nominee.
It's the Nynaeve and Old Mug. I mean,
Oh
Yeah.
god damn,
awesome.
so good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I didn't write it, but it is one of my favorite fucking moments in the books for real. Like such a fucking amazing scene. And I know I've joked about wanting to see it as on camera. It probably won't happen in the same way, or at least not the way I want it to. But like, it's written so well in this book that it is on screen in my mind. You know, like I
Yeah.
see that scene so vividly and clearly. And I'm like, I
you
just
do
love that fight.
You do
It's
want
so
it from the
fucking-
perspective of like another maid that's like walks in and then she's
Yeah,
like,
yeah. And honestly,
confused
it's
weird.
because it's from Nynaeve's perspective, and like
In a
while
real comedy
Nynaeve
way.
is, yeah,
Like a French
yeah, in a
comedy.
real What's going on over there? I just love Nynaeve barely like blocking shit, and like the way they describe the weaves slicing through Gideon's weaves, and then she, like counterattacks, and that's also cut, and like the way that the slicing and weaving is described, and the sweat pouring down both their faces. And Nynaeve kind of realizing that a Forsaken, old Mog, is
1-to-1, man.
also human as well, because she's starting to sweat too, and she's like, "Oh fuck, maybe I've got her." Like, there's so much depth to that
It's a
scene, and that I fucking love it. Anyway, next nominee, or Jono needs to say words.
2 things that I love to add to that, because you're exactly right. When she realizes, and then the moment itself is just completely destroyed by, is it Chesil coming in with the fluted rod? Jizhole. Sorry, I got that wrong. Jizhole coming in with the fluted rod and shooting like balefire everywhere.
Yeah, like basically, yeah. It's the only thing that breaks the fight up.
That's like a cartoon character turning on a fire hose.
Yeah,
she's like, "I got it." Oh shit!
Exactly how I feel about it. But I think that the Ponarch's Palace is like one of the coolest. Why is that? It's not even that bad.
What do you mean, Jizzle? That doesn't deserve it.
Is that not what all women are at the end of the day?
That was
and that's when I should have put it.
But like, I think the Ponarch's Palace is like one of the coolest. Like, I can't say it. Ponarch's Palace. There we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say Palace.
One of like most like underappreciated, like that. It's an awesome library museum, right? Of like all these like old things, and to have like it's so cringeworthy to see balefire and all these things going off.
Oh God, yes, yeah.
Because it's like, you
especially because of the way Moraine described it in book 3 with the Darkhounds. Like, she was like, "Don't fucking do that. It's the worst." And then she uses it in the end. You're like, "Oh fuck, that must have been like a last resort kind of thing." And then when Chesbel just walks in and just starts like blasting shit with a fucking balefire fire hose, you're like, "What the fuck are you doing? How much shit are you erasing?"
It's like a 5-year-old walking into a room in a drama with like a loaded gun. You're like, "Oh my god, this is gonna get real bad." Anyway, moving on. We have 2 more things.
Hold on. Then you realize Nynaeve hadn't reached her full potential and still hadn't by the end of the series. Exactly. Nomengard. Exactly. Nynaeve's a fucking badass. Anyway, continue, Tom.
All right, so another nominee, we put a combo platter for the Battle of the Two Rivers on here, because it's, first of all, when that kid tells Perrin he's his cousin, that's a big deal.
Yeah. /
when Gaul and Loyal come back from closing the Waygate.
Yeah, that's so
those
good.
are huge.
Because
those are huge.
As Tom mentioned, that closes the spawning concern in your video game.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah. We can finally win this fight because there's no more Trollocs pouring through a hole in the ground.
Your infinite ammo cheat's over.
That Perrin's cousin thing gets me every time. I'm like, "Oh, they're not all dead." And then he cares less than I want him to.
Yeah. There you go.
That's the key there, I think.
Because it didn't fucking matter.
Is your name Luhan?
Yeah. The family I liked is already
Ibarra.
dead.
Get the fuck out of here, kid.
Yeah.
And then he spits on him from on his horse, which I thought was rude.
Not necessary.
What does it mean to Lubara?
The winner.
Why do they just
I think they'd have a different profession than blacksmiths.
Lubara.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big one.
I don't reject that. And then the biggest one. The biggest one is Rudian in the History of the Isle. That's the big one.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. That's mind blowing.
The whole thing. It's incredible.
That's
so that's another thing, by the way.
And the Aiel's backstory, but it's like the weight of like what's being revealed is also huge. So it's just like, oh, I get to see flashbacks, but then you're like, oh shit, these flashbacks have a lot of weight to them. And there's a lot of like it's just mind-blowingly. It's an info dump.
It's the precursor to the backwards episode of Seinfeld. It's incredible.
Smash it.
Kramer's in the background slowly eating a bigger lollipop.
Tom, are you allowed to have that cigarette?
Yeah, I love. No, I love everything about it. That's one of my favorite.
I know
things.
it's so good. It's so good.
Avienda's later as well is amazing in the like
Avienda's
the most
is
depressing
awesome
way
in a
possible.
reverse way, obviously, but yeah, like it's so good. But the thing I love so much about it is that Rand is like seeing these visions while slowly catching up to not Couladin, Muradin, and then like surpasses him. And as he goes past him, like the degradation of Muradin seeing these like revelations, while Rand is going like, well, thankfully I didn't grow up here, so this isn't hitting me as hard. And like kind of thing. And then like just that whole like juxtaposition of like two people experiencing the same thing and how it's affecting them is so well written and so fucking good. I love that whole thing.
Could you imagine though, if you like lived your whole life believing one thing and then you went to your grandmother's house one day and you opened up like a photo album and found out your grandfather did not in fact work at a grocery store, he worked at a hardware store, so you ate your own eyeballs? Seems like a lot. A little dramatic.
I was really excited to see where you're going to go with the juxtaposition.
Tom, it's not, because my entire way of life is built on the fact that my grandfather worked at a grocery store.
And we're all grocers now.
He worked at a hardware store, and I was supposed to take that. And I was supposed to take that without eating my own eyeballs.
You think I am such a fucking hardware monster?
What I would have
I
to see
come
to be
from
like...
a strong lineage of grocery store workers, and I can't stand the fact that my grandfather actually worked at a hardware store. I can't get over it.
You know,
rip out my
Joe's
own
name is
eyeballs
Joe
and I'll
Grocer.
eat them.
Yeah.
What would you have to see to eat your eyeball? Like, this is the only way to stop
Probably
this.
my grandfather working at a hardware store when I thought he worked at a grocery store.
I'm done with this.
Or some interesting comments on nutrition, like what
I thought it was bananas, but it's hammers.
Yeah.
Kill myself. right here on the beach, no ocean.
Right here at the beach. No. Soon to be lake.
Oh yeah, soon to be lake. Yeah.
Well, he'll never see it.
Like that should be. This is a tWoTcast this week, but I'm going to go on for because like that to me, like not only first off, they technically all see a little bit different because they have different ancestors, but still, Rand sees the breaking of the world, like or not the breaking. He does eventually too, but he sees the moment it happens. Right? He sees what's it called? It starts with C that falls down. Right? Like it loses its anti-gravity field.
Karn, he doesn't fall down. He stays up there. That's why he's dead.
He gets up again.
No, he died. His boot falls to the ground.
No, I'm talking about like the actual like fucking like
Cool Dam.
Yeah. Thank you. Cool Dam. He sees Lanfear or Meeren, whose name is just Honey, apparently. He sees all these fucking things. It's like it's incredible what the fuck he sees, and it's like the most amazing. Like, and it's not like it's not an uncomfortable info dump, right? It's not
not at all. Yeah,
it's a wonderful like just.
It's written so well. Yeah,
and like you, it's something you go back to every time, like mentally at least. Every book that you're like, okay, so that's what happened.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Do you guys think we should look at the list of scientists that work at the Super Collider right now and figure out which one is Lanfear?
Yeah, probably. I think if we hit these particles at the right speed, we can open up this bore.
Yeah,
into untapped energy.
In the middle of space. Yeah, we got or not space, but just close.
Here's a theory: the last of the Jedi were turned into pillars to store their heretical memories.
Oh my god,
that's dark as fuck, Beach. I love that.
I'm pretty sure we saw them just become old and die.
What do you think pillars are?
I was about to correct heretical, but Muradin would say it was hearsay. Yeah. I mean, like hereticals.
I think the Jedi died out because they eventually became to the belief that sexual penetration was an act of violence.
They believe. My wife believes every time we have sex.
They just stopped.
Oh, you can't do this anymore.
No, I was gonna say it's not about that. It's not about any of those things. It's about like all. It wasn't. They weren't turned into stone. They just pulled their head come out with a Harry Potter wand.
Jen is
swirled around in a bowl, and then they molded that into a column.
Jen is Aiel for Hyman. I think.
Yeah,
Johnny, you've had so many outs.
it's not my accent.
Somebody.
So
did.
that's tWoTcast for this week. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below. We actually respond now. That's actually a true statement. You can listen to the audio version of this show wherever you get your podcasts. That's actually currently a true statement as well.
Did you put them all up?
Yeah, we're caught up weirdly.
As of like last week?
I mean, I think last week's episode will come out like tomorrow. Podcast theme songs brought to you by the one and the only Taffy Bennington and Andrew Bart of Time. Links to their stuff is below. Also, if you guys weren't aware, Taffy Bennington does a lot of other amazing songs that we randomly put up in the middle of the show now. Join us next episode for more Wheel of Time, covering
Wheel of Time.
the Wheel of
They
Time
call it
Awards, the
Wheel of Time.
tWoTties, but the Fires of Heaven specifically.
Oh, that's the Wheel of Time.
The Wheels
Yep.
of Time. What did I say?
Get ready to see what we
These are Wheel
forget.
of Times. Like,
The Wheel of Time's awards.
The Wheel of Time.
I'm Joe. Say goodnight, Jono.
good night, Jono.
And Tom.
Study your math. Oh, smash to black. Join the
Keep the
puppets.
change. You feel
It's good direction. It's good stage direction.
Yeah.
Among the first to start, the tWoTcast was so smart to lovingly bash our favorite books. But that was long ago, and now they've grown the show, and now they got us in their hooks. Don't throw coins to these bastards, they need bars of gold at least. Someone please keep them afloat. Now let's listen as they once again ramble through a book. Let's get the fucking quote. One of them is Tom, but he is barely on. Sometimes he calls into the show. Another one is Jono. Is he their joker? Oh no. And Joe, is he the stupid one? Welcome to the tWoTcast. We will share our love for books and all our hate in every episode. We'll entertain you, make you laugh so hard you barely can stand up. That is the tWoTcast code.